Hello, hello! Happy spooky season! As a self-identified scaredy cat, I unfortunately don't do well with anything horror or actually scary, but thankfully for me, there's the colorful, cutesy side to Halloween. And that's what today's design challenge is going to be all about. We're going to design a Halloween-themed Precure duo, balancing classic Halloween motifs with the fun and style of Precure. Let's dive right into sketching. For our first cure, I want to go with a bat theme. I made a big mood board with a bunch of images of cute Halloween stuff, so I keep referring back to it throughout the design process. Spiderwebs are really visually cool, so I try a couple different ways of bringing those into the design. One of my favorite things to do in a character design is to play with contrasting shapes. Having lots of sharp points with round edges adds lots of visual interest and makes designs really exciting. In the 3 sketches, I try to really explore different things and try stuff that maybe won't work. I usually go with a variation or a combination of a couple sketches for a final design, so just have fun with it and try different things. You never know what'll happen. For cure number 2, I want her to be cat-themed. It was originally black cat, but I forgot about that part fairly quickly. To contrast the more pointy, cool design of our first cure, I want this one to have lots of round shapes and be pretty darn cute. Since I've been bouncing around in my head that their names could be Trick and Treat, I really start leaning into that with the second one. The second I drew that candy wrapper skirt, I knew I was going in the right direction. The toughest part of this design was making the tiny witch hat work with the cat ears. I want both to be prominent, so balancing them was going to be tricky. I end up going with the hat centered, but angled slightly back to separate it from the ears. Designing her second made it both easier and harder. On the one hand, I already had ideas from the first design I could bring in and play with, but it also meant I felt a little more limited since I want them to match and be cohesive. But that's the fun of character design. I love a good challenge. Now that we have some ideas for our cure, let's do a final design of each of them. This part was extra fun because I did it live on stream! It was so fun chilling with chat and putting these designs together. Starting with our cat-themed cure, I start with her big, round hard candy skirt. From there, I add in details on her bodice and her tail. I went back and forth with her hair a little bit, but decided on a fluffy short style. I love how it echoes the skirt and adds more roundness to her design. Next, I start on our bat-themed cure. I start with the biggest elements of her silhouette, the skirt, batwing hair, and hat. Since she has long hair, I wanted to be careful to make sure it and the skirt both get their respective limelight. From there, I start adding in little details in her shoes. I loved adding the little stars into her hair, it made it look so magical. With both sketches done, I throw down some color. To keep them properly Precure, I go with bright orange and purple for the main colors. They're so Halloween-y and complement each other perfect. I keep the design to mostly analogous colors, except for the pops of complementary color like blue and yellow. These little touches give the design so much energy and excitement and just make everything pop so much more. I also add in some fun little stripes of color on the hair for that extra little Precure touch. And with that, we've got our designs! Woo! It wouldn't be a Magical Girl design challenge without designing a cute weapon. My mind instantly goes to this pumpkin-shaped flashlight we had in our Halloween decoration box when I was a kid. I don't think I ever took it trick-or-treating or anything, but I distinctly remember waving it around the house like a tiny pumpkin witch. With my directions set, I start playing with the other accents on the wand. Bringing in the stripes from the underside of the witch hat should be fun, and of course there needs to be lots of bows. I struggle a little bit with the stem of the pumpkin. On their own, they're not super cute or lend themselves to being anything different, otherwise you lose the recognizability of the pumpkin. After looking at some images and different drawings of pumpkins, I decide to stick with a standard stem and add a little curly bit of vine next to it. I think this adds just enough energy and movement to the design. Now it's time to make a cute illustration of these girls together. We start with the part that always makes me a little nervous, posing. Thankfully, I gathered lots of reference images of cute poses, so I had a lot I could pull from. I knew I wanted them to hold hands and be close, but balancing that with keeping all the different design elements visible is always tough. I was really torn about blocking one of our cat Cure's ears, but since her other ear and tail are still visible, I think it's fine. I just want to make sure she looks like a cat, that's all. I used the arms to help balance out the pose too. I go back and forth a lot, but ultimately I make our Bat Cure's arm holding her wand straight out. This creates a nice rhythm and flow with the other's tail and helps add in some more energy. For color, I keep going back and forth to the original sketch and grabbing the colors with the eyedropper tool. I do that all the way up to the wand, where I realize I didn't get to deciding on those. Oops. For matching purposes, I decide to make the pumpkin top and handles match, but the bows and bottom candy jewel thingies match the Cure's colors respectively. I even made the pumpkin look like it was glowing, which was a lot of fun. Any chance I get to fool around with Glow Dodge is a great time. For the background, I keep it simple with a dark green checkerboard. It adds just enough visual interest without taking away from our Cures. May I present Cure Tricky and Cure Treaty. I'm so happy with how they came out. They're so cute and unique while still working as a team. I always try to pick a favorite design at the end of my videos, but it's really hard this time. Let me know down in the comments who's your favorite. If you had fun, you should check out some of my other design videos. Maybe even subscribe? You can also find more of my art on my socials. All the links are down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day and a happy Halloween. Bye bye!